Well, good morning and Happy New Year. This is my morning ritual. I wanted to share it with you because we're going to get serious. Now, I had a lot of fun, and New Year's Eve I stayed home and did some work, and I decided I was going to shoot something that was going to take in all these serious subject matters that we're addressing, and today I'm actually going to address that. I'm going to directly address the fog, the drones once again, and some other things, including Bill Gates and some things that I saw that I studied last night so that I could address them directly and answer your questions. So I wanted to share my sunrise. Every morning I get up and I put what's called red light in my eyes. When the sun comes up, I look at it for 2 to 3 minutes. It's safe to do that. You don't look directly into it. There's the bay over there. Let's go inside and have a cup of coffee together and address all these things that you guys are so doggone serious about. What I want to share with you is that this may be the most important video of this year for you. Not that my word is so doggone important, but I have shared this information with you before, and it's more relevant than ever. So I'm going to go through the fog and all the questions you've asked. As always, I'm going to add a little bit of humor, but I'm going to take this very seriously because my message, the last half of this video, is the message you don't want to miss. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I thought I'd put my hat on, you know, it's my trademark. So I'm Landria 4.0 now. A lot of changes for me and possibly for you. If you saw my video about gifts, everyone will receive 1, 2, 3, as many gifts that are required for you to shift out of where you are now into the life you should be pursuing in order to achieve specific goals here in this lifetime that you predetermine, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about that, what's going on, and it's all choice. So, hope you'll subscribe and share my videos. And those of you who are entrepreneurs, we are changing the world. This is going to be part of our discussion today, is making these choices and what you can do that could take you into something so amazing. 2025 is going to be amazing, but here's the critical piece of this video. I'm going to address all the things that you're seeing happening out there. Well, not all of them, but the major ones. And I'm going to answer your questions, but entrepreneurs who want to make a difference on this planet, you want a business, a planet conscious business, you want to do something purposeful, meaning, I have free videos down there. I have a free webinar, two of them in fact, that goes over everything, a platform that I created just for you. These are decisions we're going to have to make. Now let's talk about the fog. It's not foggy today. We had 2 days of fog for just a little bit here in Florida. I did do research on the fog. Some of you, I think 2 of you, said that you're sick from the fog. No one is reporting officially sick from the fog. Anything you're hearing about being sick from fog is strictly, and I'm not making fun of anybody who's saying it, that they're sick from the fog, it's hysteria. Back during the Salem witch trials, people would pass out, they'd get ill, they would throw up, they would absolutely be convinced that these witches were doing things, and this is a real phenomenon. Through the centuries, people can convince themselves. We know the placebo effect, and if you believe it, you can seriously make yourself sick. Anything. So I guess my question to you who are sick from the fog that has been supposedly worldwide, it's actually not worldwide. It's in places all over the planet, but it's not worldwide. Central America, all these people, they're not getting it. Those of you who've been sick from the fog, I'm going to ask you something. Did you watch videos first about it before you got sick? The other thing I want to share with you, and I'll tell you what the fog is, The other thing I want to share about the pictures you're seeing, I looked at them. I have spent a considerable amount of time debunking things like orbs because people send me pictures all the time. And I've looked up from specialists what to look for, because so many of you say you're seeing orbs and you're really not. I'm not trying to be mean, but we want the real deal. So I want you to be able to look and be discern about these things. There were pictures of fog that if you took a high-powered light, it would look like snow or chemicals, and there weren't any. One of those videos is from Florida. If I amped up my light, I could see particles, heavy fog particles. You can actually do this with your car. It looks like snow or whatever, but now people are seeing chemicals and that it's on things. It's not. It's not. Somebody had a picture of a pool with crap in it. I had a pool once. Stuff would show up all the time. Depends on, what's going on in the neighborhood. Isolated incidents that have nothing to do with that. That fog is fog. Now I'm going to address one of the most important things. We're talking about changing the weather, and I saw a lot of videos about Bill Gates. No matter what you think about him, I watched quite a few last night. This was my research of what he actually said. People are taking his words, I believe, out of context and creating some paranoia around it. Now, you can shut this video down right now, but if you hear me out, what I'm about to share with you could change your life, and I really mean that. So put aside your opinions right now and just hear my opinion out based on my research, and that is the videos I'm seeing out there about him are people with strong opinions, a lot of religious videos about what's going to happen in the apocalypse, and they're taking certain things, incidents, and people's words and videos and making it fit what they believe. And it's fearful and it's dangerous. It's dangerous to the people who are out looking for this and believe it. It's not dangerous to people like me because I don't care about that stuff, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Bill Gates, let's just talk about this. Climate control is a big deal. They have been seeding our climate since the 40s, and during the Vietnam War was a big one, and a mistake because there are consequences when you mess around with the weather. The reason was used for warfare. If we can make certain things happen and make mud, not war. In other words, if we screw up the weather and these guys can't move their equipment and it's all muddy and raining, we have an advantage. That's what they were doing. Well, the repercussions when you deal with nature or mess with nature, it's never going to be good. And also, so they found that out, and when they got exposed, they ended the program. It doesn't mean they ended research. Okay, so there's so much about this subject to talk about. Yes, Bill Gates absolutely is knowledgeable on this stuff, and how involved he is, I don't know. Let's not get into an argument about that, because what I'm going to tell you, it's irrelevant. But controlling climate is a big deal because of what? The Earth is warming. Supposedly the Earth temperatures are going up. Yes. Now, so if we can block the sun, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, then we can lower the temperatures of the planet, which will help the crops, which will help all other kinds of things. So the intentions are good, but it's coming from stupidity, obviously, because you don't want to mess with nature. And humans are so afraid to just work with what's going on out there and accept the fact that we are on a planet that is aging just like we are. I can go get, by the way, I've never had a facelift. I don't have Botox or anything. I just want to make that clear. I can go get Botox and facelifts and everything and fight getting old all I want, but it's going to catch up no matter what. I'm going to continue to age and expire. That's what our planet is doing. She has had temperatures that were unbelievably off the charts. I can't remember what year it was. Greg Braden did a thing on this, a whole scientific video that were astronomical. And then ice ages, and then back up, there's a pattern, and we're going back into the pattern of her heating up. It doesn't mean the end of anything. It's cycles. Everything's a cycle. All right? Bill Gates made a statement that was totally misinterpreted about basically eliminating the population. Well, I want you to remember something about these people that were, the public, or certain people in the public are saying want to, depopulate us. They're on this planet too, so whatever they do to it, they're living here. I don't believe it's what we're interpreting. I think it's paranoia, and here's what I want you to know. All of these things are just a progression of a planet going through the consequences of what we've done. And yes, there are big egos that like to control, that some of them probably would like to get rid of a vast majority of the population that's destructive, that just continues to function here as takers and not givers. And, those who are elite would like to hang around with those who are elite and not have to deal with the woes of the ignorance of the majority of public. But the truth is, that's what we are. We're a range of ignorance and unconsciousness all the way up to whatever. And by the way, whatever isn't money and power, it's awakening. And that's where we become community and giving. We have fires down in Central America right now, and we just got notification that some of that the smoke is going to come up here to Florida. And somebody put this, be careful. And I looked it up, and there's our air is fine. It's crystal clear here. Stop the paranoia. Now, here's what I want to share with you. This is the most important part. If there's depopulation that's going to happen, it's because we've done it to ourselves. No one person, no billionaire can do that. I believe that there are some people in power with money that are doing and will do wonderful things. But I also believe this is the reckoning for those who have lived in unconsciousness and ignorance and not taking the action to make changes to that, because nobody's responsible for your success, your joy, anything in your life, except for the support that we can give you when you make a decision to make a change. So yes, we're back to seriousness today. I had a lot of fun last night with Greer, but he's a prime example. Stephen Greer, he's into UFOs. He's an ER doctor. I don't know if he's still a doctor anymore, but I think very smart man, and I've watched him through the years on occasion, and I've watched him go into a deep ego state of who he knows, and everybody comes to him and how powerful he is. And this is a prime example, and this is why I used him. He's a prime example of not focusing on the whole purpose of this new era and why you're here. I see a whole big percentage of you getting caught up in the drones, the fog. It's like an addiction, and you're arguing about what's really going on, who said what. And anybody with a YouTube channel and a lot of followers, which you can get a lot of followers if you put a lot of crap out there, and I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I've noticed some big followings of people that are really doing some destruction. And then 5 minutes at the end, after an hour and a half video, they go, and then we should all love one another, but the apocalypse is here, and all this crazy stuff of how evil everybody is, and everybody has evil intentions. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't think Bill Gates is some evil person trying to depopulate. If he was, he wouldn't get on stage and say it. I think that was misinterpreted statements. I do. I think there's equations that he put up there, and it made absolute perfect sense. Consumerism, health, all these things. And when you change any aspect of that, you can have depopulation. You change the entire planet and the usage and what we're putting back into. And here's the most important part about that. And you have to get this. You have to get this if you want to go to the penthouse. It is absolutely a requirement. You have to be, there's two types of people in the world, and some come in both categories. There are suppliers and consumers. The suppliers are also consumers, so that's a third category, but the main one is suppliers and consumers. I'm seeing those of you so mesmerized by all of these theories about the drones. What are they? And then arguing with each other and defending Greer, and then saying, thank God somebody said something about it. And none of it matters. Of course it matters. No, you are not this. Those stories are not what you're here for. The drones aren't what you're about. The fog isn't making anyone sick. There's not one case on the planet that connects that at all. The temperatures on the planet are changing. And I have gone through eras in my personal life when there was constant fog, you couldn't see your face. Nobody mentioned that. We are interpreting things out of fear because there's an addiction, and some people love that. They can't get enough of it. It's fun. Why? Because they have nothing else going on over here that's exciting. They have nothing else that's purposeful and passionate and meaningful. And so their lives are all about the material world and the stories that are going on. This is not real. This is the real story we create from the essence of what we are, which is all-powerful, beautiful, a light being that's a creator. All of us are creators, and you're creating everything. So when you focus on all this stuff, you're entangled with it, you are living in that world. And it's a story you tell yourself, because I got a totally different story. And mine is, yes, there's some people that'll, they'll seed the planet. By the way, those, the chemtrails, did you know that those planes have to be up so high? And you guys are looking at passenger planes that has a contrail, condensation trail. And everyone's calling it chemtrails. There's a paranoia. It has to stop. And you can do your homework, but I think it's a waste of time. Okay, great, you do your homework, and then what? Okay, I found out that can't possibly be chemtrails. If they're going to seed things, they do it with special planes way high. And by the way, they've accomplished that now. Does it matter? Well, of course it matters what they're doing. No, it matters what you're doing. Because if you're on that computer all day and night, looking up all these stories, supporting those channels, by the way. That's why channels like mine don't have millions of subs. It's not fun to learn that you have to do the work. It's not fun to learn that you have to shut that stuff down, because it's like, oh, you just took my, play toys away. Destructive ones. I'm going to tell you right now that all that time that you spend on the stories that are going to go away, there's going to be a new story next week, and a new one, and a new one. And nobody has the answers. It's all a bunch of arguing about what it is. There's always some expert, and all the experts, by the way, they all have the answer, and none of them are the same answer. And then you watch, oh, this is the answer. What's going on here? What is going on here? You're a creator. You are changing everything with every thought, your beliefs, and your attention. And it's subtle. I'm talking one thought. Every time I'm like, okay, I'm grateful, all this stuff, I have this one thought. And sure enough, my gift shows up and says, that's all changing now. But you don't have to take it. You don't have to take those gifts. Those gifts are the opportunities for you to change your life. They are situations. They are opportunities. They're challenges. Mostly challenges, because we don't like change. So we say these are bad things. Nothing's bad. These are all tests. If you're watching all of that, what are you doing? What are you doing? So the consumers and the providers of these, the suppliers cannot exist in their present form without the consumers. So those of you who are watching this, I'm going to ask you some questions that you're going, wait, what? Are you eating fast food? Are you taking all kinds of drugs instead of trying to figure out that you can heal yourself? And I'm not trying to play doctor here. I love doctors. I love the medical industry, but it is totally controlled by certain factions that don't really care if you get well. We know that. Okay, big whoop. I'm not losing sleep over that. Are you going into the powers that allow you to improve your life and to others? Are you focused on the things that are going to make the changes on this planet, or are you the consumer of the supplier that is destroying it? Are you using plastic? I give you guys all kinds of ways to stop using it. Are you going to your local farmers, organic? Are you supplying? Are you being the contributor toward the suppliers that are making higher decisions, that are changing this world? And none of that stuff that you're watching out there will exist anymore. It doesn't matter if the drones are UAPs or military. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And there is no hysteria. I haven't seen it. Have you? And people say they're trying to create hysteria. I'm not seeing it, right? Until somebody plops out here and threatens me, I physically have no reason to react other than I am here. Every moment of my life is dedicated to driving people into new ways of thought via their own choices, opening up the gateways for you to know that you're fully responsible for what happens on this planet. And every time you spend all your time watching these people and arguing about it, you are caught in the basement. It's the basement. It's a distraction. These are all distractions. So those people who think they're doing good, like Stephen Greer, are actually in the basement and they don't know it. They've gotten so caught up in the egos and what's happening in the government and this, they don't realize none of it matters. You're going to talk to the heads of state. What are you going to say? No one person changes the planet. It takes a village. Our words to bring us together is what's going to make us powerful. And that's by giving, caring, compassion, love, compassion. See the light in another person. No condemnation. Stop the judgment. If somebody doesn't like, you don't like what somebody says, and you're attacking them, right? And you might say, well, I did that with Stephen Greer. Well, I wasn't attacking Stephen Greer. He's a big boy. I gave you my opinion, and I actually had a lot of fun with it because I was definitely making fun of the silliness of these names and these factions and these people. And so it wasn't Stephen Greer. It's the whole structure of the insanity that's going on out here that everybody's getting caught up in, and none of it counts. What you eat today is more important than those drones up there. I'm not kidding. There's no cure for cancer. There wouldn't be any cancer if we didn't have toxins. There would be no cancer if we didn't allow our crops to be sprayed with chemicals, or we were using plastic. What you doing? Do you have a coffee maker? Do you pour it from a plastic bottle that leaches toxins in, and then you pour it into a plastic container, and then you put your little Keurig cup or whatever it is, and that has plastic, and they have done tests, and there are chemicals and toxins that leach into all that, and we're the consumers that are supporting it. Focus on that. You're not going to have to give up anything. I launched a new channel called Chic Sustainability. I talk a lot about absolutely everything you need to change. One of my videos is the first thing I do in the morning, hopefully before I get on a computer, is I stand out there and I watch the sunrise. And I put that red light straight into my eye. There's just little things you can do. I go for a walk. I meditate. I'm cleaning up all kinds of things in my life and giving away more and more and more. I didn't think I could do that again, but you can. And it'll feel good. And your energy field is going to change. And what I want you to know right now is that none of that matters. It's going to happen anyways. And it doesn't matter if you have the truth or they have the truth. What you contribute is 100% the most important thing. And your attention, where you're putting it, and your beliefs, and your separation of any kind. You can have an opinion, you can make fun, you can say somebody's ego's out of control. But my question is, are you condemning people for who and what they are? Or are you seeing it for what it is and creating the new world? If you are not contributing to the new world, you will be in the basement, and you're going to go out that way. And you'll never know the world that you can live in. And it's already underway, and you guys have seen my book. Yeah. That was a downloaded book. It came out 1 year ago, and I got a message. This book must come out now. I talk about the tipping point and what's called the knowing. Do you know what the knowing is? You stop asking questions. The knowing is, I can't know everything. I don't have all the answers. But I'm allowed, here as a human, to express myself, to be creative, to be different, to look different, to have an opinion that's different than yours. It's beautiful, and we're not celebrating that. It's time to celebrate that and say, well, that's interesting. I still don't have to agree with you. And well, actually, the truth is, the knowing is, we don't even have those discussions anymore. We don't need to. What are we contributing? You contribute that. Oh, and when we come together, it becomes powerful and we do amazing things. Learn how to create. Take your beautiful gifts because you have them. There's no one that has power above or below you. We are equally powerful. No one can take your power. It's impossible. Quantum physics proves that. Your focus creates. That is a fact. And that makes you a creator beyond what you can possibly imagine. And when you're focused on all the stories out there, they're distractions, and they're just trendy news that's going to go away, and then there'll be a new thing and a new fear-based story. We just have fog because our weather's changing, and it's that time of year. There are no chemicals. Those drones aren't spraying anything. There's been no indication of that whatsoever. I looked. The stories you're seeing are channels that are just saying that. There's no proof of anything like that. Are you ready to create the new world? This is your New Year's message. And when we listen to these fascinating experts, they're experts. Have fun with it. But frankly, I just don't have the time. I researched it last night. I was absolutely blown away by what's out there. Hours of people just, everything was a fear-based negative story. And we can create anything. You can see videos. I showed you a video that I shot of a plane coming in. It looked just like an orb. Then it looked like a drone. I wanted to see for myself. So, do I need to know? I don't. I don't. What am I doing today? What am I doing today that contributes to this? When you guys hear me talk about digitalexplorers.net, I gave up investment banking 20 years, and then I became an online entrepreneur, and then I realized it's no different. I saw the corruption from the financial industry transferring over to online. In fact, it was worse because you don't need a license. At least we were licensed. And then I saw people just chasing money, and you see all these ads. You're probably going to see a couple pop up on my channel. What is the ad? Make money this way, make money this way, make... We're done. You can make money, a lot. But when you focus on the contribution, the giving, you will receive that back. So I created something that takes us away from that corruption, and we create planet conscious businesses. You don't need any experience. If you want to change your life, if you're an entrepreneur, come on over, get free webinars and find out what it's about. If you're not into that, if you're not an entrepreneur, I want you to look around and say, what am I contributing? And what am I doing as a consumer? And if you are a supplier, what are you supplying? What are you supplying and why? I ask my students, what's the purpose of this? And then what's the positive impact? And if they can't answer that question, we go back to the drawing board. Because whatever you do should not only just give you purpose, but have a positive impact starting with you. And then it goes to everyone else. Because if you don't get this right, you're no good to anyone else. And there will always be people that will tell you you're not good enough or smart enough or you screwed up. You came here to screw up. It's what you do with that that's going to make a difference. Are you going to be hypnotized by this stuff over there, these really smart people that are focused on things that are not creating the beautiful world that is happening right now. No one is stopping us from doing that. You just won't experience it. Do you want to experience it? Because you'll still see what's going on out there, but you won't be involved in it. You won't be entangled with it. You become an observer. And you say, I came on this planet with all this, that this doesn't go away. And if this ends up doing great damage, I'm going to ask you, what did you do? Did you contribute to that? Well, they made all these great things. Are you watching violence? Are you gaming violence? Are you letting your kids watch violence? Are you buying stuff that is destroying our planet for yourself or your kids? Are you putting poison in your body here in the United States? It's tough to get anything that isn't poisonous. We can change that because as consumers, we can change the supply. If there's no consumer, there's no supplier. They're going to have to find out what we do want. That's your focus when you want to, if you want to join the new world. It's happening now, and it's a state of mind and heart, and then the body follows. Your future goes before you. Your future is here. What I'm thinking is my future. If I shift my thinking and my focus, this future goes before me. It's always with you because of this. It's not sitting out there on its own, and then you're going to go into it. Now, this future is mine alone. And of course, as a collective, we all contribute to that. We agree to participate in that, so many will have this future, and many will have this future and this. It's endless. My future goes before me, and so my thought is creating this. Healthier, happier, purpose, changing lives, inspiring others. Looking at myself, how can I always improve myself? Because I'm a human. We came here in unconscious states with programming. We don't even know what we don't know, right? You don't know anything different than what you've been told or how you've been brought up and how you've seen your world. But your world is according to your story, not mine or theirs. But if they tell a story and you believe it, it's now your story and your reality. So Bill Gates, powerful guy, if he thinks that climate change, controlling climate change is a great thing, he's going to change the planet and lower the temperatures, maybe he thinks that's a great thing. I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions. I don't know the guy. All these people out there, it doesn't matter what they're doing, it matters what you're doing. You're giving them power that they don't have. And money, it can do a lot of things in the material world. It has no power over you. None. You can say, yes, it does. Get out of that. Get out of it and say, okay, if there's fog, temperature's changing, that's about it for me. I actually walk in it. It's so beautiful. I actually stand out there and do breath work on the bridge in the fog. It's so beautiful. That's my story, and it's true. What's yours? Those drones, I don't know what they are, and I don't know what it means. I know there's something big coming. And I know that big thing, if you take your gifts and you're not afraid to open that gift, it might be something different. And you go ahead into that world, you'll shift into a new reality that's going to be life-changing for you. And you will never, ever go back again. And you'll realize how much you were stuck in thinking that wasn't productive for you or your story here. You're here to raise your consciousness. I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. It starts with me. And if I can help you, then I've done my job. What's your job? And you are that important. You are that important. No fear. Don't talk it. Don't spread it. Have fun. And by the way, somebody said, I've never seen you like this. And I thought, well, get ready, because you're going to see a lot more of me in ways you never imagined. And we're going to have fun. I'm a very funny person. Ask my friends. We laugh all the time. And you and I are going to start laughing because we don't need to get so serious. And when you love what you're doing, passion, purpose, positive impact, then you can be abundant. And then it feels right and great. How you earn, how you spend it, what you consume, what you supply. It's got to be up here, my friend. And everything else going on there, talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. You are so loved, you can't make a mistake. But what choices you make will determine your life here, and it can be beautiful and perfect. Are you ready to live that? You can. I can't do it for you. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my perfect, beautiful light being. Happy New Year. Namaste.